and welcome to The Average Initiative, the average podcast hosted by average guys that know a pretty average amount about an average amount of stuff. And we're going to talk about it anyway. My name is Lewis.
And I'm George. Hello.
Hello, George. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing very well today. Very excited about this podcast today.
Me too.
For those of you who may have been listening before, you may see some new changes. Well, let me be the first to welcome you to The Average Initiative, the new name for this podcast.
We are here to talk to you about The Average Initiative.
Exactly. We, as Lewis did say in the intro, we know a very average amount about an average amount of things, mainly ranging from anything kind of comic booky to superhero-y films, books,
sci-fi,
anything like that. It's
Pokemon.
Pretty much what we, especially Pokemon. I'm going to get to those episodes. You wait.
That might not be so average.
Yeah, that okay. I may outshine there. But anything geeky related, nerdy stuff. And you're welcome to join us. Please come in.
You ever watching a Marvel film or a DC film and you're thinking, I want to know more about, Lex Luthor or Steppenwolf, but you get overwhelmed by all the, the comic booky terms. Well, you're in the right place because we don't know jack fuck, but we're going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, we'll try and make you feel welcome. There's a nice cup of tea at the door as you come in, and take your shoes off, put your feet up, get some rest, and just
no sugar.
Just strap in. Yeah. Sorry, we didn't have the budget for sugar.
Okay, what are we talking about today, George?
Oh, glad you asked. Did you hear the dog then?
I don't know, but I am quite enjoying that it's becoming a recurring theme of you telling me you're glad I asked.
I'm always glad. I'm so excited. Oh. The reason I'm so excited about this one is because we got our logo up and all of our Twitter and stuff going today, and it just looks nice and neat.
Do you want to give the artist a shout out?
Yeah. Big shout out to Alicia Illustrations. You can find her at aliciaillustrations.com or at Leash Illustration on Instagram.
Leash.
Yeah, I'll get Lewis to link it below because I'll make him do all the dog work. But yeah, fantastic artist. She did a bang up job, super quick. If you
might be the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, the pair of us were like I don't know, 6-year-old boys again when we saw it. We were so excited. Like,
I did a poo in my pants.
I'll be honest, seeing myself as a cartoon superhero.
Yeah.
Kind of on the bucket list, so I'm happy with that.
And I always knew I was kind of a hobbit, but now I'm seeing it. Now I do kind of look a little bit like Hobbit Jesus, but I'm here for it.
That logo is based off an actual photo of the two of us, which you can find at our Twitter, which is at @AverageInitPod. Thank you, Twitter, for the limited number of characters we're allowed to use. So that is AverageInitPod. Follow us there, and you'll get kind of updates on new shows and what we've been up to. Just pop in and say hi. Let us know.
Hi.
If there's any topics you want us to cover or anything you want to talk about in the show, find us there and drop us a message.
Have you put the original photo on Twitter?
I will do once this show's over.
Oh my god!
Hey, if we hit 10 followers, I'll share the original photo.
Okay, that's a good idea because this is quite an embarrassing photo. Not gonna lie.
There's a good story behind it.
Yeah, well, that'll be our 100 follower special.
Yeah, explaining that night.
Right,
I'd like to say that in a romantic way. That night inspired us to make this podcast.
Yeah,
I don't know if it did.
Well, it certainly spurred me on to come up to think about the ideas of what this was going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I think it kind of did. I'll get to that later on.
Yeah. Should we jump into the show?
Yeah, let's do it. So, what are we going to talk about? Wait, you asked me that.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
I get so distracted. So today we're going to talk about our favourite and all the best non-DC and Marvel superhero films. So the other ones that are out there in the world. Just so it's not all comic books all the time.
So I've got one to kick it off. If
go for it.
You want to go? So I'm not sure if you've seen any of these movies. I figured I'd go from like my least favorite to my most favorite out of the ones I picked. So I picked Spawn.
I have not seen this film.
Have you not? Okay,
but it is based on. It's a
comic book character. I'm not actually sure, to be honest.
What Image or one of those?
It's one of the other ones. One of the ones that people like us don't really know about.
Was it? I'm going to get lamented for this. Was it not the director of Joker who made it, Todd Phillips? Or am
I
I
think
getting
it's
confused with
Todd
someone else?
McFarlane.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Too many Todds.
I'm todded
Too
out.
many Todds. So is it for those who don't know, Spawn is a character. He's a guy. He's not a very good guy, and he dies and he goes to hell. Well, he gets burnt to death. That's quite an important part. He's like Deadpool before Deadpool. He goes to hell, and then they want him to control. The devil wants him to control his armies, or blah 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 blah. So he comes back to life essentially, and he's got funny powers and a big CGI cape, and I love it.
That's all I've heard of this film is that the CGI cape is like, oh, you put all
Yeah.
your eggs in one basket, and that basket had a massive hole in it.
Yeah,
Like,
I've got a soft spot for it. It came out the year I was born. We were
isn't
born.
it like, yeah, which would be 24 years. Oh god.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that it's just full of like f bombs and all sorts? Like,
It's a bit of a rude boy. It is a rude boy. Lots of stabbing and gross stuff. And John Leguizamo as the Violator, which is a stand-up performance.
John Leguizamo. What? My name rings a bell. Who am I thinking?
Have you seen Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet?
Is that the modern day one?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I watched it in school.
Do you remember Juliet's brother? He's like Mercutio, or no?
Oh yeah, no. Tybalt.
Yeah, him. It's him.
Oh, okay.
He plays a very fat clown.
Right. Okay, I'm with you now.
But yeah, it's not the best movie, but I am quite fond of it. Especially my dad had it on DVD.
Because I always feel like Spawn is one of those ones that is like the poster child for non-Marvel DC. Like,
he's definitely one of the more popular non-Marvel DC characters.
A bit like your Hellboy or your Watchmen.
Spoilers.
But that
Watchmen
kind of,
sort of is DC, sort of.
Yeah, now it is, but
it's not main continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although no, I don't know if it is because of the whole Doomsday Clock thing that took place.
Oh.
In the recent when Rebirth first happened. Yeah, there was a whole saga with
the button.
The button, yeah.
Big yellow button.
And Flash and all sorts. And there's a really cool comic. I think it was in the first Superman issue from Rebirth. He wakes up and Lois is like, what happened? He's like, oh, I just had a nightmare. She went, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, I've never had a nightmare before. And it's like, oh, that's cool. That's quite sick. Don't fully agree with it character-wise, but it's a cool line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I know very little about Spawn. Only
is the classic example of I'm immortal unless you chop my head off.
Oh right.
Yeah. So I'm not. So he's kind of like Edward from Twilight in a way.
But does he sparkle?
He could sparkle if he wanted to.
He
shoots chains out of his nipples.
Hang on, sparkle, spawn, sporkle. Yeah,
Sporkles.
that for free. He sporkles.
Sporkles.
Well, speaking of Hellboy, is that the next one on your list?
That was actually going to be near the top of my list because I'm quite a big Hellboy fan.
Wait. Oh, sorry, I forgot you said you ranked these, didn't you?
Well, I didn't really rank them. I just thought I'd start at the bottom, work my way up. But
you've already thought of two that I didn't, so you know.
Yeah. Hellboy, obviously, there's the 2004 original, and then there's the sequel, which I think is 2007 or so, and then there's the reboot from a couple of years ago. But we're not talking about that one because I haven't seen it, and it looked kind of shit. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a very glaring continuity error in that new one where his arm.
Oh, I've seen this.
Is on his left arm or right, and he does like a combat roll, and as he rolls, they change what arm is like weird.
How did they fuck up that bad?
I just want to know how they got away with it, like, or how they at least think they would, because clearly someone had to go in and I guess digitally draw that armor.
Yeah. Oh my days.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. Have you seen the Hellboy films, the originals?
Ages ago. I'm pretty sure I watched them at your house, but I think it was after two other films.
Maybe.
I was trying my best to stay awake.
So the first one's fine. It's okay.
So I can't really remember them.
It's the first one's very like sort of Cthulhu inspired, you know, and quite dark. But then the second one is just straight up fantasy comic book action, and I love it.
That's like Ron Perlman, isn't it?
Yeah, Ron Perlman and the monster from Shape of Water going on adventures together.
Right. I should probably check this out. Actually, I really should watch them. Right.
Should the Golden Army? I think is the sequel. Is superior in every way. I think, and it's a criminal. It's criminal that we didn't get a third one. I think even Ron Perlman was up for it, but no. Here we are.
I mean, I do like David Harbour. Don't get me wrong.
I like him. The film just seemed one of those. It seemed to me like the fan four stick to the to the Fantastic Four films. Do you know what I mean?
Let's make it so we've got it on the books, sort of thing.
Exactly.
I feel like that you've got a lot more you want to say about Hellboy, but I feel like my lack of watching it is.
I mean, I've got some trivia here. If you want to hear some trivia.
Oh, go on! I like a bit of trivia.
Okay. Let me find a good one.
It's the trivia time. It's the trivia jingle. Well, trivia's gonna happen.
Yeah. Trivia. So Guillermo del Toro is the director of this and the second one, and Shape of Water, which I choose to believe are a cinematic universe. But he opted to do this movie over Alien versus Predator and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh.
Which was then directed by his friend. I forget his name.
Alfonso Cuarón.
There you go.
I do wonder what Del Toro Harry Potter would look like.
Yeah. Because wasn't he?
Like he'd have had to get the big spider in, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, for sure. Was he attached to or interested in doing Fantastic Beasts at one point, or am I getting confused?
Possibly. I have a thing he was going to do The Hobbit or
he was going to do The Hobbit originally. I think there was going to be he was going to do it as a 2-film thing.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been better personally.
Given the book's like you can read it in a day.
Exactly.
I don't know why I said that. I've never read it. I looked at like the first page. We had to read the first chapter for English once, and that was it. I've never seen these films. I'm putting it out there. I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, everyone.
It's in our logo.
I know, but they're so long.
Have you even seen Green Lantern 2011?
Sadly, yes.
Okay, that's all right then. Because if you hadn't, then the logo would make
Green Lantern has been around for like nearly 50 odd years now.
So it's Lord of the Rings. 100 years.
Yeah, but
anywho.
What are we talking about? Del Toro. Oh, see, now I'm just thinking of what Del Toro Harry Potter would look like. Because I love Prisoner of Azkaban, so I couldn't imagine that being done any other way, other than including all the stuff that's not in the book, which is like a lot.
Yeah. I can't remember the books. I read them when I was 8.
I'm rereading them. I mean, say rereading them. I'm on a constant loop of reading them on the audiobooks. And the third one is just so good. Like, the third one is the best mystery. Like, the whole, like, all the different plots eventually fold in together. Oh, we need to do a Harry Potter episode, desperately.
Oh, we will. Don't you worry about that.
Maybe okay, so guest on that one.
So the next one I had written down. I like this format of I write all the stuff down and you just wing it and you end up talking better talk than I do.
There's one thing I can do, it's waffle.
You are the waffle man. Yeah, the next one I got is Kick-Ass.
See, now, this is an interesting film for me because I never had any inclination to see it. But then I saw Matthew Vaughan's other films, such as Stardust and Kingsman.
Oh, Stardust. We're doing a fantasy film episode as well at some point. Just putting it out there.
Like those two films I love. Like, especially Kingsman, the only Kingsman that's out so far. There's never been a sequel. I don't know what you're on about.
He also did one of the best X-Men films.
Yeah, that's why I've seen it. I didn't. No, I was.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's right. No, I slipped my mind to this. But yeah, I've seen all his other work. But when I think to watch Kick-Ass, I think I don't know what I'm getting in for. So I'm like, I don't know why. I've got this block in my brain. I think because I saw.
Have you not seen it?
I heard reviews, not all the way through. I've seen it. I've seen like the second half. That's it. I've seen from the Hit Girl, like when she goes full on, like
beast mode.
Beast mode.
Yeah,
I saw that bit. But there's a YouTube channel called Pretty Much It, which is basically what we do but funnier. And they do film commentaries. And I've watched Kick-Ass through that. And that is the only way I've seen the whole thing.
I think it works.
Yeah. I mean, I do like it. I really should get around to watching it.
It's a really good sort of commentary on, classic superhero genre.
Yeah.
Especially like the Nicolas Cage and Hit Girl sort of thing.
Because it's basically every student's idea to do, what if superheroes but the real world? But it's actually done well. I mean, I did that myself in my first year, so I can't exactly talk. But yeah, I do keep meaning to get around to it, especially after this recent episode of WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
Which
reference.
I tied it in.
Easter eggs.
If you haven't listened yet, we do weekly recaps of WandaVision currently on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. So if you want to go back and re-listen to them, you can
Yeah,
hear that.
if you
We've got
watch it and you think I'm confused, watch or listen to our podcast, and you might be a little bit less confused.
Yeah, we've got a new episode coming out with the latest episode this week or next week.
Sunday,
Does it come out
I would
Friday?
imagine.
Sunday, yeah.
Is when the pod will be out.
Yeah, well, we've said
Stay
that
tuned.
now. But no, I do mean to get around to watching.
Yeah,
because I watched Kingsman. Oh, go on.
No, finish your thoughts, sir.
I just say I watched Kingsman, and again another YouTuber I'm going to plug here, Jack Howard, who's very well known, and he does a podcast with Mark Kermode, so he really knows what he's talking about. The way he describes it as Kingsman starts down here and pokes fun at James Bond and all these other spy films, and then by the end of it, it is on the same level as these films.
Yeah,
like it stands next to not necessarily James Bond, which is like a 50-year legacy, but it doesn't need to go, I'm like James Bond, because it's its own thing. Another film will come along and go, oh, you're like Kingsman, and it's established itself. And he says Kick-Ass does the same thing with superhero films.
It does. It starts off like it starts off with the classic sort of story of a teenager, obviously, that wants to be a superhero, and by the he gets the shit kicked out of him and all that sort of stuff, and you sort of the reality hits, and then by the end it's just batshit crazy comic book action.
Yeah, so then you could then do another film where you're like, oh, this is like Kick-Ass, and then it is a point where it's. I mean, also the fact they're well-known films, and Matthew Vaughn is best mates with Brad Pitt, and he can get any film he wants made. But they reach the point where they don't, even within the context of the film, they don't have to keep making all these references to other stuff because they are their own thing.
Interestingly enough, it says here that this film was rejected by pretty much every studio. So Matthew Vaughn came in and he raised the budget himself at a dinner party, apparently, and then after he made it, he then sold it to Universal for more than he originally asked them for.
Oh, that's a baller move, isn't it?
That's a bit of a review of the film for you. Again, like Kingsman, doesn't have a sequel.
No, I don't know what you're on about.
Yep.
No. Although I think, again, like I said before, I think the reviews of the sequel put me off it, and I thought, I'm not going to get involved.
The sequel has its moments. It does. Like Jim Carrey is quite a good part of that.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, same with the Kingsman series. Pedro Pascal, phenomenal, perfect. I love him in everything he does. He can literally sit there and just read a book, and I probably engage with it.
Even in Game of Thrones, mind blowing.
Yeah, when I get around to watching it, I've not seen Game of Thrones either.
Oh, then you didn't get my mind blowing reference.
Does he get his head blown up?
He gets his head literally squashed and exploded.
Oh, by the mountain.
The mountain, yeah. The mountain of a man.
I've seen some of the first season.
That's why he wears a helmet all the time in Mandalorian.
Oh, I see. So what's next on your list then?
Well, I thought a little bit of trivia I had for this one here. It's Nicolas Cage modelled his speech mannerisms as Big Daddy on the original Batman, Adam West. Because, so apparently when they were acting lines, he just started to do it. And Matthew Vaughn was like, you know what? I'm sick of the gravelly Christian Bale voice, and I like this. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I get that, because he does, when he first meets Kick-Ass, he does it hit girl, come on, let's go. Yeah, he does have that kind of.
Yeah.
I have to rewatch. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah. Okay, next on my list is Sky High.
Oh, finally a film I know very well.
2005
very near and dear to my heart.
Disney superhero film. I watched it the other day on Disney Plus with the missus.
The fact this didn't get a sequel or any kind of follow-up is a travesty.
Yeah, what are the chances that this, Kingsman, and Kick-Ass all don't have sequels?
I know. I don't get it.
Crazy.
No, Sky High, I absolutely love. I remember going to the cinema to see something else, and it was between that or watching this, and the other film was sold out, or the timing was wrong. So the people I was with, which would have been my mum or aunt or something, were I guess we'll go see Sky High, and it was amazing. Exactly what.
It's perfect kids film. 2005.
So we were what, 8?
8. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what 8-year-old me.
As I was saying, it's the perfect kids film. in terms of like it's a bit watching it as an adult. You are a bit like, oh, does that really make sense? Are those motivations really there? But as a kid, it's just like, this is exactly what you want. You want to wake up and you want to get your powers and you want to go in a flying bus to a superhero school.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a few bits of it haven't aged well at all. Like I think like the first thing you see when they get to the school is like some guys like smack a girl's ass.
Oh, he does, and then she freezes them, and I'm not being funny, but they are straight up dead because they're still there days later.
She definitely killed those guys.
Kids, frozen
again,
solid.
I think... like they never got home from school.
No.
No, I absolutely love Sky High. Yeah. I think it had a real. I think it was one of those films where had it done well enough,
it would have got a sequel.
Or a TV, or it would have launched into a TV show and or a cartoon.
It'd be interesting to know what the box office is of Sky High, like what it made at the time. Because I see it, I assumed it was like a TV movie. I didn't even remember it coming out in cinema.
So it was definitely a cinematic release. I remember that.
It made 86 million, which isn't very much.
No.
Is that just? I don't know if that's just in America or if that's worldwide, but on a budget of 30 million, I guess that's not such a big return.
I'd say just double. Plus, that probably hasn't got marketing in either, has it?
Yeah, which is criminal, really, because like it has all the parts of being like a classic kids film.
Yeah, and I think it still holds up. Like a lot of
for sure. I mean, it's got the story Kurt Russell in it, for crying out loud.
Kurt Russell. It's got
Wonder Woman.
What's his name? Yeah, Linda Carter and the Dean from Community. Jim Rash. He's the evil like psychic.
Oh yeah, the thing that he gets choked all the time. And he's like, uncle.
But no, I remember because the whole premise of splitting up, I think, heroes and sidekicks was like such a creative idea. Like, I think that was genius. I personally I think Sky High is probably one of the most underrated Disney films.
Also, one of the best castings in that is, do you remember the evil sort of scientist teacher with the big head?
Yeah.
So I was watching it and I was listening to him and I was like, I know this voice from somewhere. And then I looked it up. And he's Pleakley.
Okay, I would never have guessed that.
Lilo and Stitch. And he's the same character in both movies. An evil scientist invention guy with a big head.
I was waiting to say like it was, I don't know, like Peyton Reed or something. Like,
I mean, it looks like him. No,
that's what I mean. I thought,
no disrespect to the Reeds.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, now I hear it.
Yeah. Oh, and it's got Bruce Campbell in it. Is that his name?
Oh yeah.
As Coach Boomer.
Okay,
side kick.
But what's weird is that like none of the kids really like went on. I mean, they probably did. I don't know.
Well, there's what's her name?
Danielle Panabaker.
Well, her, but also Huntress from Birds of Prey. Mary Winslet. No.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she was in it.
She went on to see some stuff.
Yeah, right, yeah, bet. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, like the main guy, Will Stronghold, I think I've seen him in one film. Yeah. It was that weird Jet Li Jackie Chan film.
Oh, the where he's the monkey god fighter guy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not him. Sorry, Jackie Chan was.
Yeah, and he gets sent back in time to like feudal Japan or China.
Yeah, like the Forbidden Kingdom or the Hidden Kingdom or something like that. Yeah. Oh, memories, man.
But I've never seen him in anything else.
The main character, Will Stronghold. I said this to Cass the other day. He's always reminded me of you. A little bit.
In a good way, or
well, not in a bad way. Just like when I was younger, I just remember thinking, "Oh, this reminds me of George a little bit."
Then more elaborate.
I don't know. He's got brown hair.
I have brown hair.
He sometimes wears shorts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Like you when you were younger, when you had like more hair. And
my big mop.
Yeah.
More hair. Fuck you.
I didn't mean it.
Says as he scratches his hairline.
I mean, I'm no one.
I was talking about me then. But...
I meant longer hair.
Yeah, I get what you mean. During the Creech Bros days, I get what you mean. Right, should we move on to
moving on from an almost perfect kids film, and I think I can see where you're going. Where I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. from a not so perfect kids film to the perfect kids film. Where am I going with this?
I don't know what bit
The
to do with the bit. I'm assuming you're going for an
Incredibles.
incredible film. Fools 2.
Hey!
No, 1. Oh, yeah.
See, on my
Yeah,
end,
no,
I
Incredibles
said,
1. That was like the first
yeah,
thing I thought of when you said,
yeah.
like, yeah, films. Go on, what are you saying? Go on, I'll let you finish.
Well, I was hinting it to you, but then I think it was a bit delayed because I was going the incredible, and you were like, "It's an
Oh,
incredible."
I thought, yeah, I assume that's where you're going. I was like, how do I jump in here? Yes, and yeah, The Incredibles, probably top 3 Pixar films, I'd say.
For sure, 100%.
For me, I think only beaten out by either Wall-E or Ratatouille or Toy Story 2.
There is a lot of
Oh.
good Pixar films.
All right, top 5.
Ooh,
But Incredibles is it's definitely up there.
yeah.
Again,
I love the 50s sort of aesthetic it has going on, but like mixed with
it's a bit
futuristic kind of stuff.
like Batman the Animated Series. It's kind of like a timeless like era.
Yeah,
It doesn't have a set.
Yeah, you don't
time.
really know where it is, but then like somebody, because there's obviously computers and stuff, but then like the newspapers and the way they talk about the heroes and all that sort of stuff, it's very sort of 50s, 60s kind of esque.
Yeah, it's quite nice how the like prologue, like the intro bit, kind of reminisces to that golden age of heroes in the 50s and 60s. You know, where it was like you know you got your Batman with guns and your Jay Garrick Flash and all that, and that kind of era where you know it was stopping bank robbers and you know petty crime and you know like, oh no, Bruce Wayne's stuck in a meeting but Batman's needed elsewhere. Oh, and that was like the biggest travesty of the week. And then juxtapose that with the modern day where you've got supers being killed off and being called out of retirement to be hunted, and like it gets dark, this film. There's an attempted suicide in like the first 20 minutes.
I know, and then he sues the superhero for saving him. Where else do you see that in a superhero film and a kids film for that matter?
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's perfect. I mean, it's been said before by people far funnier and smarter than us, but it is the best Fantastic Four film.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
That is exactly what the Fantastic Four needed to learn from. But also, it's not predictable in a way.
Not anymore. Like, no, not anymore. That didn't come out right. What I meant to say was, at the time, it was unpredictable. But since then, so many things have sort of emulated that sort of thing. Like Iron Man 3 has the exact plot of this movie, pretty much.
Yeah, I do admit, I do like Syndrome as a villain.
Yeah, that's what I was leading into.
Yeah, because he's just evil for evil's sake. Like, he wants to get revenge. You understand, and like, oh yeah, I see where you're coming from. But it's not like a big twist reveal, like, oh, I was a villain all along. He's just straight up, yeah, I'm here. I'm the bad guy.
Well, the thing is, he's a bad guy, but he sort of wants to be a good guy.
A good guy.
But he's happy being a bad guy to become a good guy.
Exactly.
If that makes sense. Like, he doesn't want to do good. He just wants to be seen as a hero.
Yeah, it's just such an incredible film. I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to do that then.
I didn't even clock it.
I knew that. I said, not to keep hopping on, but I do remember seeing this in cinema, and I had an inset day off from school. You remember when you used to go to school, kids? And me and my mum were in town, and we were just running a few errands. Granted, again, we were like, I don't know, 8, maybe at most.
Yeah, 7. I think we were when this came out.
7 or 8. And she was like, "Oh, do you want to go cinema? Like, day off?" I was like, "Oh yeah, brilliant." So we went to see The Incredibles in the local megaplex, multi-screen, whatever it's called. We got a chicken and stuffing sandwich from Boots, and I finished it before we even got to the film. That's how long the adverts were, which didn't say much because it was a sandwich.
How do you remember all this?
Oh, it's just like the one.
Was that the last time you had a chicken and stuffing sandwich?
Honestly, this sandwich was legit.
It was incredible.
It was Finding Nemo. Oh, damn it! I ruined it. But yeah, I remember seeing this. I remember seeing this in cinemas too, and then it became like the 4th DVD I think we ever owned.
Wow, what a loser! So you had DVDs.
Yeah, so even in our house, like it's been like, I won't say a special film for our family, but like all of my family know it so well, and as a family that communicates by movie quotes, this one has loads in it.
Well, speaking of Wait, you just said something, and I was going to use it as segue, and now I've completely forgotten what it is you said.
Chicken sandwich. DVDs.
I can't
Watch as
remember.
a family. You've frozen again. Frozen like Frozone. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's gone again. I don't know if you're here.
Frozone. Where is my super suit?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what the segue was. What I was going to say. It says here that I've got here that in order to give Dash his realistic, out of breath voice, Brad Bird made Spencer Fox run laps around the studio.
I bet he did that once for like a variety behind the scenes. Like,
I don't know.
how do you record your thing?
I can imagine him just being like, right, you've got to do your line. Right, quick, go. Go straight like, cut.
Yeah, but he could just even just be holding his breath. He doesn't have to get into.
I guess so.
I do like how
method acting those.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was. I know they did it in Finding Dory. I can't remember if they did it in this as well. But because obviously the original voice actors were then too old for the sequel, they then obviously replaced them, but then put the originals in like a small cameo role.
Yeah.
So like the original Nemo voice is the truck driver at the end of Finding Dory. Oops. But I don't know if Dash appears in Incredibles 2 anywhere.
I don't know. I can find out. I've got Spencer Fox's IMDb right here.
Ooh.
It says the last thing he was in that I have heard of is Kim Possible. But the last Incredibles thing he's in was the Incredibles video game back in 2004. So I don't think he came back, unfortunately.
Yeah, so what's next on your list? Anything else you want to say about the Incredibles?
Well, that's it. That's the only 5 that I had listed down. I was wondering, have you got any? You can think of any?
I'm rattling my head. There was.
I mean, there's stuff like the Crow and stuff like that, but I haven't seen that, so I feel like I probably couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like out there ones. I mean, there's the Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about TV shows.
TV series or Netflix series.
If you haven't watched the Umbrella Academy, it's definitely worth a go.
I was at Big Hero 6, but that's Disney. That's not Marvel, but yeah, Big Hero 6.
I mean, I think is it not based on a Marvel property?
I think very, very. Oh yeah, because Stan Lee's in it, isn't he?
Yeah, but then again, he's in Teen Titans Go, so that doesn't mean anything.
Oh yeah, he's also in Mallrats. So, I mean, would you count Scott Pilgrim as a superhero film?
Well, it's certainly a comic book film. Well, a graphic novel film.
That's another film that I watched, and it was so hyped for me that I don't think it could ever live up to my expectations, and I just still don't understand.
See, I remember seeing that.
What's so good about it?
Do you not think it's good? I think it's good. It's unique. Like there's.
Yeah, I feel like there's something going on. I'm just not getting.
Do you think maybe it's like the kind of Michael Cera kind of humor? Do you think that's it? Because I personally enjoy that sort of stuff, but then I'm really into like your Superbads and like all those sort of films. Yeah,
maybe because I mean I love Edgar Wright's other stuff he's done, like the Cornetto trilogy and Baby Driver. Actually, I was thinking the other day. It's complete tangent. Like, do you remember he was supposed to do the Ant-Man film?
Yeah.
Like, I still wish we could have seen that. Like,
you can understand why they didn't go with that though, because it wouldn't have. His stuff is so out there and so different that it wouldn't fit the sort of cohesive Marvel thing that they're doing. Because even like stuff like Taika Waititi and stuff like that, who have their own flair, they sort of mold it to the MCU formula.
Yeah, I feel like Feige goes to him and goes, right, by the end of the film, you need to have these people here. Off you go, and then that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And obviously he's probably a bit more involved than that, and his writers and stuff. But yeah, I absolutely wish we could have seen what
I would have imagined that
Ant-Man was.
He would be the kind of director that doesn't want any limitations whatsoever, and that's probably where the creative differences sort of came up and why he chose to leave. I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's interesting that because he wanted to do that character, which is always interesting.
Yeah, because it has the sort of powers and the sort of scenarios you can get into, sort of lend themselves to his sort of style of editing and all sorts. I think.
Yeah, like the long drawn out shots and the action and the match cutting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he does a lot of really unique stuff. Plus, his rhythm, like with his editing.
Yeah,
sort of like bang, 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 bang. So yeah, I just thought was thinking that the other day, thinking of Edgar Wright, and I think,
Mm,
what we could have had.
yeah,
But I don't want to say I don't like the Peyton Reed Marvel ones. I still think they're
they're
phenomenal.
fine. They're fine.
They're good. They're good. They're at rank whatever I said the other week. Check out that episode where we ranked our favorite MCU films. Well, not favorite, all of the MCU films. It took forever. Grab a snack and
Forever.
a drink because you're going to be there a while and
If
you'll
you've got
probably
an
hate
hour
us.
and 45 to kill, go and do anything else because you'll probably
To,
find it boring.
to be honest, after the last year, I feel like you might need some more content. So feel free to check it out because
Do it.
you're at the bottom of the barrel now. That'd have been a good name for the podcast. The Bottom of the Barrel
Bottom of the
podcast.
barrel. Yeah.
Let's make a note of that.
Just to end it off, I've looked up just some great comic book movies that aren't Marvel or DC, and they've got Edge of Tomorrow. Have you seen that?
I have not. No.
Neither have I. We're moving on. Sin City. Have you seen that?
I saw the trailer.
So did I, but I haven't seen it. We're moving on. Men in Black. I've seen that.
I have seen that.
I've
We
seen
saw that
that.
together.
We
That was the
seen-
first film we saw at the cinema without like parents.
Well, Men in Black 3. Is
Yeah.
that right? Men in Black 3? Yeah, I remember. Third one's the worst one, though. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, hands down. Oh, everyone always says they don't like the second one.
Yeah, but second one's my favourite one.
Yeah.
I think it's because we watched it as kids, so I think that
I think because the
nostalgia's
third
a
one
bit-
is so far removed from the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, the only recurring thing in it. I mean, I know Tommy Lee Jones is in it, like the first half, but like
It's just
you
Will
haven't
Smith
got
in it.
Rip Torn in it. Yeah. Even the base is different. All the gadgets are odd, and it just like it didn't capture what was so good
Yeah.
about the
The
first one.
worms, the pug,
Yeah.
Vincent
like-
D'Onofrio chewing bugs.
Well, exactly. Like, come on, where else are you going to get that?
Daredevil.
But the I completely lost my train of thought now.
Sorry.
That's all right. But like the first one, it was almost like a old noir film. Like they were tracking down.
Yeah, like a neo noir.
They didn't know what they were looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah. Whereas the third one is just, I'm looking for him. I'm going to kill him before he gets back. And it's like, all right, calm down, Jay. Jesus, like, if you're gonna like try and take him in or arrest him or sympathize with him.
I do really enjoy the casting of Josh Brolin as younger Tommy Lee Jones, though. It's perfect, isn't it?
Fantastic casting.
You don't get much better than that.
Yeah, it makes the age thing a bit weird, but other than that,
Yeah, I mean nowadays they would just de-age Tommy Lee Jones, wouldn't they?
Mm.
With all the money.
I feel like he wouldn't even bother to do that.
No, he wouldn't do it, but they would do it to him.
Yeah.
Against his will.
Because what's the other thing? Yeah, because the other problem I have with the third one is they kind of retcon why Jay was recruited in the first place. Because he says in the first one, like, Jay was chosen for his skill.
Yeah,
like,
and they make it like a destiny thing, don't they? Pretty much.
yeah, and like there's the little bits like the training montage, which is my favorite bit from the first one because it's kind of left ambiguous. Like,
And he shoots the little girl.
yeah, and like because those other army guys went in and just went in guns blazing, whereas he's the only one who stopped and did assess the situation. Was like, okay, and you don't know if maybe he was supposed to hit the little girl or what.
I suppose that's the point of the test, isn't it? Like that's the clever thing about it.
Exactly, and they always leave you thinking that they're not revealing everything to you, the viewer. Like the Men in Black themselves, even though you know the characters are still shrouded in mystery, they themselves are Men in Black suits, like that kind of vibe. And yeah,
can't forget the rap that goes with it.
Yeah, why does Will Smith not rap anymore? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, they gave it to Pitbull instead, which is just disgusting.
I mean, he is Mr. Worldwide.
Well, it's true. Boris the Animal is a great villain, though. Like, he just comes in and chews scenery left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's, if you compare him to like Vincent D'Onofrio's character from the first one, there, I feel like he's a lot more cartoony, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but he's got a much bigger presence than Selena in the second one.
Oh yeah, she freaked me out.
I just
worms up people's noses.
Yeah, and the guy on the Segway, and Johnny Knoxville as well.
Johnny Knoxville, yeah,
twice. I had to remember Selena's name by singing the Nod Your Head song from the credits of Men in Black, which is actually on my playlist on my Spotify, like regular songs.
Of course it is.
But no, I think the first two are brilliant. I love them so much.
What about Men in Black but with ghosts? You seen that?
Is that Ghostbusters?
No, it's R.I.P.D.
Oh yeah. You know what's ironic? We didn't even talk about Men in Black International, which came out like what, 2 years ago?
Oh fuck! Oh, excuse my French. I forgot that thing exists.
Yeah, same.
I'm assuming you haven't seen it because I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's absolutely not.
And we're
I knew
moving
exactly,
on.
I knew exactly what all the twists were in that film before I even saw it. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Oh, we just missed a whole film. Oh, R.I.P.D. is garbage though. It's
Yeah,
hot,
I've seen a little bit
hot
of it,
garbage.
and I was like, this is awful.
I took a girl out in sixth form to go see it at the cinema because I was like, this would be a
Of
cool
course
film to
you
go
did.
see, and I'm pretty sure that film is the reason she didn't call me back.
Oh, I thought
Or it
you'd
could be
still
my
be
friends
with her
crashing the
today.
day. But it's just, it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like,
No, it's CGI is trash. Story
it's just
is
even,
trash.
yeah, like the idea of everyone who didn't want to go to heaven is a criminal and you have to kill them. Like, whoa, like, because someone didn't want to die. Like, calm down.
Yeah, at least in
And
Men
then
in Black, it's an allegory for immigration.
Yeah, sure, we'll pull it that thread, but but then like they come back disguised as like an old Chinese man and a hot blonde, and you think like that character never gets the closure. Or if he does, then his grieving widow is chatting to a small Asian man, and it's
No,
like he's running around with a
you know a lot
banana.
more
Like,
about this film than I thought you were gonna know.
honestly, it's because of that I didn't get to kiss the girl, so I'm not forgetting it.
And you still haven't kissed a girl to this day.
Never, apart from your mum. Way.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
everyone just switched off. No one is listening.
Bold of you to assume anybody made it this far.
Oh, I think this is the latest we've ever recorded as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's nearly 10 o'clock.
I need to go to bed soon.
Same.
I've got to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
But yeah, R.I.P.D. is hot
Yeah,
garbage.
hot garbage.
I cannot not recommend it enough.
Should we
Right.
should we end on that bombshell? I mean, we can name others like Snowpiercer, 300, all those sort of things. There are a lot of good films that aren't Marvel or DC, but if you're looking for superhero specifically, I think we covered quite a lot of the good ones.
We forgot Megamind, but I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it either. We're moving on.
Okay. So anything else you want to cover, or?
No, I think that's it. We'll be back on Sunday for the next episode of WandaVision.
Yes, sir. We will be. Yeah. In the meantime, like we said up top, feel free to give us a follow on Twitter. At AverageInitPod. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. I never understood why podcasts tell you where you can listen, because you're already listening.
Yeah, but what if they want to listen somewhere else to give us more views?
Well, if you want to, that would be fantastic.
Do it. Also, if they were watching this on YouTube, they might think, oh, I want to listen to a podcast. How do I do that? Spotify. That's how you do it.
All right, fair enough. All right, you've debunked me already.
Boom.
Yeah, find us on Spotify and YouTube, the Average Initiative Pod. Just search that. I'm sure we'll come up. You'll find our fun little logo designed.
Look for
by
a blue
fantastic...
green lantern. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say a blue green lantern and a Jesus Hobbit.
Yes, look for the Jesus Hobbit. But yeah, you should find our logo designed by the fantastic Alicia Illustrations. You should find her links below, as well as all the links for the other stuff we've just said. Yeah, check back in next week where we'll be discussing episode something of WandaVision.
7, I believe.
7 or 8. 7.
Have you seen episode 7?
I don't know. Have you seen episode 6?
No. Then we're moving on.
Also, quick shout out to the Trolleyed Dollies podcast. Good friends of ours who are going to be launching their podcast soon, if not by the time this is out. Again, you can find the link to their podcast below. Check them out. Some good friends of ours. They're very, very, very fantastic idea for a podcast. I'm very jealous I didn't come up with. I'll leave them to explain.
If they don't put out an episode in the next few weeks, we will be stealing that idea.
Yeah, you heard it here, Hannah. I'm coming for your idea. I'll even get the air hostess outfits before you. So yeah, fight me.
Oh, sorry, I've already got one. You're fine.
Fantastic. I've got a Thunderbirds costume I can fit into. But I think that's everything that you can find us.
I think that's it.
yeah, you can follow us on Twitter individually. I'm at GeoDursley on most channels.
I'm at Creechmeister on pretty much everything that ever existed in the world.
Same username since you were, what, 12?
Well, I've always had the same last name, so it's been a no-brainer,
Oh,
really.
see, yeah, clever there. I think that covers everything. Thank you for listening and
Thanks,
for our
guys.
ramblings. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know every podcast says this, but like, to know that some person finds us funny, it's just brilliant. Because we'll be having these conversations anyway. So the fact that we can bring more people in is just, it's great. It's great to do.
And if you don't find us funny, but find us interesting, that's okay too. We're okay with that.
Yeah, we just like the attention, really.
Yeah,
that's why we do this. Check back in, as I said, check back in on Sunday for our latest WandaVision recap, and go back through the archives for some of our older episodes. There's only a few, but it should give you plenty of time to catch up before then. There's an episode for every episode of WandaVision from episode 4 onwards, as well as our MCU rankings and
various other topics such as I can't remember. What else did we do?
Is that it? We did WandaVision.
We've done that, but
rankings,
we've done like extra.
WandaVision.
We've done like our dream team ups of like characters we'd like to see in films together, as well as various other things of that nature.
Yeah, a whole range of things for you to get your little ears wrapped around. There's some MCU castings in there you can check out as well. We're looking to make that a regular thing, so give us suggestions for that in the future for either Marvel or DC or any kind of castings you'd like us to look at. But yeah, get involved.
Get involved.
I think that's a good enough goodbye. I've run out of things to say.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
And we're moving on.
That's my thing.
Bye.
Bye.